We want to hear about what they're doing now, what they learned from the DoK community, and perhaps practical pieces of advice they can give to other folks that are students in your position. Maybe you're getting started open source, maybe you've been in it for a while, how you can learn how to get the most out of community. So just to do a quick round of introductions, can we start with you, Vanshika?
Sure. Hi, folks. So good to see you again. This is the second time we'll be having DoK Students Day. I'm really excited to see what's going to come up. And I think as an intern, I had a really, really great time. Just to introduce, I'm Vanshika and I'm a tech educationist and evangelist. I'm also Web3 and DevRel enthusiast. And right now, I'm working at a startup based out of US and building community around the product.
Yeah. Just so we know right off the bat, what's the name of the startup?
Sure. So the startup name is Weaver.cafe, and we are building multiple communities for providing mentorships and peer-to-peer learning groups, because I think that's one thing that I have actually enjoyed building and doing here as well in the DoK community. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing.
Very, very good. Natural fit. Next up, Karuna.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Go for it.
There's no static right now. Okay. So, hey everyone, my name is Karuna and I'm studying second year currently in BSc Data Science, and I do a lot of hackathons, and then currently I've been volunteering Code Day. So it's for high school students, and we are planning it to do it in our city, which will be in person, and then Cavalier recently introduced me to the event management program, which is happening in community classroom. So we'll be doing that, and I'll be hosting many of the events on the community classroom socials. So keep a look on that.
Good, very active, plenty of things going on there, action-packed. Next up, Kunal, what's up, man?
Yeah, hey everyone. I hope I am audible, and welcome to the DoK Students Day. I am right now actually having a nostalgia because a year ago we were all, giving a talks on the DoK Students Day, and it's the second time we are having. So super excited to have you all here. And yeah, my name is Kunal Verma, and currently I am pursuing my bachelor's in IT from India. I am currently in second year. I am a DevOps enthusiast, and I am also passionate about open source. I've been involved in various open source communities, I guess, since like a year now. And the journey has been really amazing. I have got to meet a lot of amazing people like Karuna, Vanshika, and an amazing mentor like Bart as well. So yeah, really happy to have you all here, and we'll talk more about what I'm doing actually right now. So yeah, excited to be here.
Good. So Vanshika, can you just take us through a little bit like what you're doing in your day-to-day, working for this American startup? What are the kind of tasks that you're doing? And maybe some things that in whatever way you can explain, things that you may have learned from your experience in the DoK community that are also related to your work now.
I think the very important thing that I learned here in the DoK student community was communicating, because that's one thing that plays a very important role when there are different time zones and you have to make sure that everyone is in loop, right? So how can you communicate well enough? And then curating content is also one that I learned really well here, because we used to do Twitter spaces and, do transcripts and all that. Again, even I'm getting nostalgic now. But yeah, I think these two things really helped me, like content creation and communication. And at the point where I have to mention about my startup, so I'm a student right now as well. So I'm learning a lot of things and I'm trying to use them practically there. So that's how it is. Like it's a hybrid of learning and doing it practically. So those things are very important.
Very good. Excellent. Now, in your case, Karuna, what are some of the things that because you listed quite a few different things that you're doing now, whether it's event planning, hackathons, et cetera. It's so nice too that things are coming back somewhat in person or at least hybrid models. So that's good to see too. But can you give us a little bit more detail about the things that you're working on now and how those things connect to things that you are doing at your time, during your time as an intern in the DoK community?
Yeah, so in the event management program, I'm using all the public speaking things which I learned in DoK, obviously from Twitter spaces and all, because I was very shy at the first. So I'm trying to be more outgoing now. So that helped me a lot. And also the transcripts. I learned a few concepts and how to make documentation and all. So there's something coming. There might be coming something at the end of this May. So I'll be announcing it, and maybe if I get accepted in that, so I'll be really using all of the skills which I learned in DoK there too.
All right, very, very good to know. And so we will keep our fingers crossed. We will mark our calendars and wait for that update. I'm sure it's going to go well. And no matter what, Karuna is an absolute rock star. Just, we're talking about nostalgia. It's so funny to think about all the things that happened in such a short period of time. But, Karuna caught the attention of our community by sending her application as a rep. And everybody knows, rap is an integral part of our community. So it's just one example of so many that we could give, as Vanshika was mentioning as well, too. Getting used to different communication platforms like Twitter Spaces, emails, thinking about time zones, Slack, really getting empathy in there. I think that's something that all of you have done exceptionally well. And I think is a very, very strong example for everybody out there. You can never have too much empathy. All right. Always ask yourself, how can I get more empathy involved in this? We have to be patient with each other. We have to be understanding. Everyone's coming in at different levels, different knowledge bases, stuff like that. And Kunal, you are also now involved in a project in the CNCF. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about that, as well as other things that you're doing and how they would connect to your time here in the DoK community.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, I would definitely agree with the points that Karuna and Vanshika made. So when I, was interning for the DoK, I actually learned a lot about public speaking and, got an exposure to the cloud native ecosystem. But from my experience, one of the main things that I learned from the DoK community is that this was actually my first internship. So I actually learned to commit to a particular thing for a period of over 1 month, 6 months, I guess, right? So this is actually, helping me a lot in each and every community that I join after, interning at DoK. So right now I'm actually involved with the Cube Simplify community, which is actually an initiative by Sayam Pathak. We'll be talking about a little bit later as well, but talking about the CNCF project as well, right? Committing to that particular thing, to a particular project, basically is one of the things that I learned in the DoK community. And talking about the glossary, we actually had a short talk about, how you can contribute to the CNCF glossary. So the glossary is basically it's a collection of words around the cloud native ecosystem. So I am actually an ambassador there. So I am basically, empowering folks and letting them know about this amazing project. So these are some of the things that I learned, and building on top of the things that I've already learned is one of the things that we are making mistakes and I'm learning from those. So yeah.
That's good. Brilliant summary right there. And very well incorporates the points mentioned by Vanshika and Karuna that it's okay to make mistakes. You are going to make mistakes. I make mistakes every day. I don't even, what time is it? It's 2:15 here at this. I don't know how many I've made by this time and how many more I'll make before the day is over. That's a really good thing to embrace that. Also understanding the things of commitment. All right. All three of you are very strong, growing professionals. And I see all of you as well too, getting that focus of understanding what you're committing to and getting into it in a realistic way where you know what you contribute, what you can contribute, what's being expected of you, and how you can deliver that. With that in mind, Vanshika, what is some advice that you would give to folks that were maybe in the position that you were last year before joining, or that might be getting started open source, might be getting started in community? What advice might you give them? Because sometimes it's overwhelming. How can we make this easier for folks that are getting into the space or currently active in this space?
So I think I'm a career switcher. I come from a non-technical background, and right now I feel that people are really focused upon getting in tech. But then if they do not come from that certain background, they do not feel like that they are the best fit in there, right? So they don't contribute to open source projects. They don't get involved in technical communities. So I personally, from my personal experience, I would just say that no matter whatever background you have, if you feel that you want to do something in the technical space, start connecting with people, join communities, and don't join all the communities at once. I think when we joined CNCF as the CNCF community, and then eventually we joined DoK. So there was one thing that we learned, and within that thing, we learned so many other things, right? So everything was interrelated. But then we need to focus on one or two certain communities to get the best out of it. And secondly, if you're getting started in open source, it's fine if you feel overwhelmed in times, but then eventually start from small open source projects. Don't see the big open source projects because they might be intimidating for you in the initial stage. But once you learn all the things and how to go about the conventionals, then you can easily go and step up in your career.
Great points. I mean, absolutely love it. Very practical. Take your time. This is not a race, all right? And also things like Kubernetes or open source in general, you're probably going to need to read some documentation. You're probably going to need to go to some meetings. Don't be in this burning rush to do it, and enjoy the process. I think that's, anyway, I really like what you had to say there. Karuna, what advice would you add to what Vanshika mentioned?
Yeah, I'd say ask questions, proper questions, and don't feel shy, because whenever you are in a community, like suppose you're started interning at DoK, and then you are facing some trouble, reach out to people, reach out to public places where you can like post questions and get answers immediately. Do not DM them personally. I mean, it's just a suggestion. I mean, it's not like if you have a certain position and then you have to DM them, it's okay. But I'd say if it's a general question, just go and ask. Don't be shy, and take one thing at a time. Like, do not rush into it. Take one thing at a time. And if you see a large code base which you want to contribute, and there's an issue called fix this feature, you don't take the whole code base at one glance. You could just go try fixing one thing at a time, then maybe try running it locally. That would do wonders if you try for the starters.
Yep, that's great. I love it. I love it. I love it. Folks, ask questions. All right. You all probably have questions. I probably have questions. You know, this is what communities are for. Get them out there. People are here to help you. They're not here to make you feel bad. All right. We need to get these things out in the open. Giving answers is a gift. All right. Asking questions is a gift too, because if you ask a question, somebody else probably has the same doubt too. So you're doing them a favor as well. Great stuff. Kunal, what would you like to finish up with in terms of advice that you would give to young folks as they're on their cloud native journey?
Yeah, sure. So there is actually, something called a spy-shaped learning. I actually implemented this a lot during my journey. So what, according to spy-shaped learning, is that know something about everything and everything about something. So I feel that this would actually help, someone who's just starting out in the community, basically to explore a lot of different fields. So I definitely see that a lot of folks are actually confused on which part do they choose. Do they actually go in web development or try app development or DevOps? There is so much out there. So what you can actually do is, take experience, take a few days off from your work and try to explore each and every field. So try to spend some time in web development, try to spend some time in app, and explore DevOps. So what actually it will do is basically you will get an experience from each and every field. You will have the basic knowledge, and then you can, according to your interest, choose a particular domain, and then you can dive deep into it. So know something about everything and everything about something. So that's basically what advice I would like to give to folks who are just starting out, basically. Yeah.
Great advice. Very practical. Once again, don't be in a rush. Map this stuff out. Be generous and kind to yourself in terms of the amount of time that it will take. Enjoy the process and connect with people along the way. As Karuna was mentioning, to ask questions. And as all the advice has been given here, it's very, very practical. So please take that to heart. And the thing is, if you have questions, you can ask any one of these three individuals that are in this panel right now. All right. They will be happy to help you. All right. It's not going to be the first time nor the last time that they'll be answering questions and helping people get on board and more comfortable. So anyway, great advice here. These have been three fantastic examples. Once again, shout out to Kewali. I'm sorry I can't be here right now because a very, very important person as well too in getting started. I thank you all once again for taking a chance on getting involved in our community at a time when a lot of things are very new for us. There are some things that are still new, but because of all the hard work that you put in, we are in the position that we're in today. We now have about 20 interns and we've very much consolidated some of our projects. Things are moving and all of this is because of the hard work that you put in the 6 months as the founding intern. So massive shout out to all of you. You will always have a space in our community. We love watching all the things that you're doing, seeing what's going on Twitter and what's going on LinkedIn, what's going on in the DoK Slack, the CNCF Slack, or everywhere that you may be. You'll have all the links to be able to check these folks out. Please do so. All right. This is not just how they talk in a panel and then outside they're unfriendly. That's not true at all. All right. So what you see is what you get everywhere. I'm a big fan of all three of you. And once again, shout out to Kewali. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we will see each other, whether it's online or in person or wherever we can be. All right. Thanks a lot.